What's up, guys? Welcome to Top Deck Entertainment. If this is your first time, I'm Matt. I am a Malice and Voiceless voice player from time to time, and I'm going to be profiling my Voiceless voice deck. I thought this deck performed pretty well when I took it to locals recently. I really love this deck. Played the OG Saphira way back in the day, so love the retrains. I am switching back into Malice now that ALIN has come out and we get the new support, but I wanted to profile my current version for this this format of the deck. And I think this is the most consistent. I think this has been the most fun I've had playing this deck, just because you don't absolutely lose to Detonator and you don't lose to Droll as hard in this deck, but you still you find ways to play around it in this version of the deck, and you have more interruptions. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, we played 3 copies of Low. The way I've built this deck, this is really your only normal summon. If things go according to plan, you can get into some weird tricky stuff, which I'll show you later, but I've cut out the Diviners and the Trias. I just think Diviner eats hand traps in the worst way possible. Any of the main kind of Veiler, Imperm, Ash just stop your play completely, and then you've wasted your normal summon without anything left to do. So I've cut out Diviner. Low is our only normal summon. Moving on, we play 3 Ritual Monsters, the 2 Skull Guardians, and the 1 Seravis. Obviously you need 2 of these. Wouldn't play 3, wouldn't play 1. This is a great card, obviously an Omni Negate, a Searcher, and just a big booty. This as a negate, also being the interruption of negating an inherent special summon, is crazy. A lot of times today when I was playing, I would end my board with these 3 and a Kashtira monster, and my opponent would try to play through one of my hand traps and then just scoop, realizing they couldn't get through an Omni Negate and then an inherent summon negate. So obviously 3 Ritual Monsters, no more than that. Moving on, still within the engine, I play 2 copies of Saphira, not 3. I think you could play 3 if you wanted to cut pre-prep. This does lose to Ash. You can still activate it to send under Droll, which is awesome. And then in addition, I played the 1 copy of the Old Man to recycle your ritual spells so that you can keep activating this. A lot of people are undecided on Old Man. I know it's an age-old debate in this community, but I think for the grind game and having the most interruptions you can, also just another way to bring back out the Seravis is crazy. So I play the Old Man. I sided him out some games, but where I thought I was going to have a grind game, say against Blue Eyes or Odeon, I kept it in. Just because they don't have as many ways, say as Malice, to get rid of your stuff from grave, so you still have the ability to recycle it. Switching out of engine into our hand traps here before we get into some of the supplemental engines I played. I played 1 copy of Druid's Worm, 1 copy of Magnemut. Magnemut is super crazy because it gets you into your Saphira. It can also search you your Seravis. But getting into the Saphira after, they go end board or they do some Blue Eye shenanigans, you Magnemut, and then if your opening hand wasn't great but you open one of these, you can get your starter in Saphira into your hand in the end phase, which is awesome. Obviously these hit Engravers, these hit Sages, or not Sages, Maidens. This card's still crazy. And the send off of this is still a thing. And playing these gave us some utility in the extra deck, which I'll show in a little bit. Now for the other engine I played within this deck, I played 3 Kashtira Unicorn and 2 Kashtira Fenrir. These cards change the whole makeup of the deck. Unicorn is an insane card. For the Ryziel matchup, for the Malice matchup, hitting the White Binder. For Blue Eyes, a lot of times I resolved this twice against Blue Eyes after summoning it first on my turn. They try to hand trap, banish one of the spirits. On their turn, they go Sage, you banish another one of the spirits, and they're pretty much locked out of the extra deck in that regard. They still make Tyrants. When you check their deck with their extra deck with Unicorn, you can see if they're on multiple Tyrants. Just a crazy card giving you insight to what your opponent's playing. Fenrir, just the ability to banish cards face up, and the fact that these search each other is crazy. When I was able to summon, when I drew into Unicorn and was able to grab one of these two, it just made it broken. You would go Unicorn, add, say, Theosis, summon the Fenrir, and then go into your full Voiceless combo is insane. Your end boards end up being, a Unicorn, a Fenrir, and then Low, Skull Guardian, and Seravis. No one's playing through this. Sure, you can die on Dark Ruler, but for the most part, those cards aren't being played, so I thought this end board was absolutely insane, and anytime I got this far in the combo, the opponent was just scooping, so that is why I played the Kashtira engine. Then moving into our spells and traps, before we get into hand traps, 2 copies of the ritual spell. I don't think any more than that is necessary. The one time I misplayed all day, which cost me the game, was siding one of these out, going second. The siding patterns in this deck when you play these ratios are really good, in my opinion, and there's just no need to side one of these out. I had forgot I had done so, and then activated pre-prep, and had Saphira in hand, and couldn't activate it, so I was pretty stuck. Still managed to go into quite a grind game with the Blue Eyes player, but just could not pull out the victory. So I play 2. I think any more than that is bad. Yeah. So moving on. Obviously, we play 3 copies of Barrier. Great starter for the deck. What I would do is if I started with a Kashtira monster, and Barrier, I would summon the Kashtira monster. I wouldn't activate their effect to search. I would activate Barrier, and then essentially we're making our opponent choose which thing they decide to ash. Obviously, if they ash the Barrier ad, they're shutting down your Voiceless combo, unless you have Saphira in hand already. And then I felt like this way, depending on what you had in hand, if you had, say, Saphira, or you had a ritual monster and Saphira in hand already, getting this ashed or getting drolled after the resolution of this didn't end your turn. Whereas if you immediately went to activate the Kashtira effect and you got drolled, you're pretty much sitting on Kashtira, and that's not going to be enough. So this card obviously is crazy. Prevents targeting, makes some attack ritual monsters insane. For the additional ones, I played 1 copy of Blessing, 1 copy of Radiance. Blessing is insane. The monster you summon with this, I always forget, but I was good about it today. Can't be destroyed by battle. So I had a guy make his Tyrant Dragon. I let him read the card, but he made Tyrant and attacked into my Skull Guardian in defense mode. And then he said, okay. And I said, yeah, can't destroy it. And he was pretty rattled by that. Radiance, also crazy. I played against a Math Mech player or something today, and was able to pop, I believe, access code, just working around the restrictions that access code does for not being able to respond. This was able to get around it for me, so that was pretty crazy. Also being able to use this or set this if you open with it and pop the Malice and Underground was incredible. 2 copies of pre-prep. I was always siding one of these out going second. Good card, but because of some of the lines you're going into with the Kashtira stuff, it becomes a little bit redundant. And because we have a searcher now in Magnamut for Saphira, I just felt like you definitely would never play 3 of these, and you didn't really need to see it going second. If you did draw it as your 6th card for your turn, then it was pretty good if you had nothing else or you opened a bunch of hand traps. And then the 2 non-engine spots, I played 1 crossout and I played 1 called by. Crossout for the hand traps I'll show shortly, and then called by, just for any kind of discard effect. Hit Droll with this once, hit an Impermanent Ash with this one. So these cards, they're both at 1, you might as well. And yeah, so now let's get into the hand traps. So obviously we played 3 Ash Blossom, pretty self-explanatory. Played 3 Imperm, same thing. And then played triple Fuelos, because I can afford to now because it got reprinted. And then the last in our hand traps, I played 3 Nibiru, just because there's always this conversation with Nib. Is it good? Is it bad? Do you try to play through it or under it so that, but you know, if no one's playing Nib because everyone's saying Nib is bad, then no one's worried about playing under Nib and then they play over Nib. I resolved this probably 5 or 6 times today. Nib is crazy. Nib is a full tribute for a ritual summon off of Prayers and Saphira, so yeah. I never, when going second, when I won game 1, I never sided this out. I'd side this out when I was going first. Okay, into the extra deck, I played 1 Typhon. I actually summoned this quite a bit and didn't lose, so we can dispel that rumor. Typhon's crazy. It gets around a lot of stuff. I think I summoned this against the guy tried to summon access code into this, and then couldn't activate its effect after it gained, something like that. And then Tyrant Dragon also, I can't really remember. I bounced a bunch of stuff. I summoned this probably like twice today. 1 Almirage. Honestly, I used this to stall with Secure Gardna when I was playing against an Odeon player. The game probably went 20 turns, and I just had enough interruptions to stop them from playing. And I'll show you how I managed to do that with the rest of the cards on the side. But also just to go into SP, this card is sick. And Secure Gardna, I actually was able to summon it. They ran over it with Mana of the Mark, and then I used a Bestial to banish this and then get into Saphira that way. 1 Anima, same thing. Get low into the grave. If you can steal with this, it's just funny. Into our Link 2s, SP. Then 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, just for utility. This came up today. I was playing against some guy who was teching Swords of Revealing Light, so I popped out with this. I don't think that's a very common occurrence, but hey, this card comes up. So 2 copies of Dynamundo. This could have been a Kashtira Shenreira. I actually didn't even go into this today. I find it's a little bit risky with how much people are playing Bestials right now. Putting low back in the grave once you've dodged it the first time around. And if they draw a Bestial for turn or something, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. But it has a good utility. I played 1 copy of Spheres because I could. Saphira or any of the Bestials make Spheres. I first started playing this when I was playing Metal Tronus. But I'm off Metal Tronus now, but Sphere is obviously just a crazy card. If you end up in weird situations, you can make it. And then you can also use it to summon a Magnemite if you use Jurasworm or Saphira, which will then get you into Saphira. So that was cool. 1 Lina, Blue Eyes, being able to rip one of their Blue Eyes cards is pretty funny. And then using that Lina, going into Unicorn, this card didn't come up at all today, but again, just another utility piece. This card, there was a couple games where I could have made this and forgot I had put it in here. But this card's pretty crazy, especially because you're playing the Kashtiras. They're level 7s. They work as tributes as well, and they work for this guy. Then Underworld, just in case I ran into some weird boards, but didn't really come up too much. So moving on to the side. For going first, I played 2 copies of Dim Barrier, and then 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, and then rounded it out with Talent. So I would side out my 3 Fuas, my 3 Nibs, and then play these. Did resolve both of these today. I don't think I actually resolved the Talent, but obviously it's a 1 of now, so yeah, Judgment is insane. But you just gotta watch if you're playing at the time. Then I played 3 Droll. I drolled an Odeon player. in that game was the one that ended up going long because I also evenly matched him twice. I drew 2 of these to start. It was really funny. He cut my deck and there was like 1 card left and he was like, oh, it was meant to be, and put it on top of the deck. And then I drew evenly matched, so it was meant to be. And I banished all of his recurring things, so that pretty much locked him. Played against a Malice player today, and it's just good to have these, especially going into the post ALIN world. You're going to want to have 3 of these because Malice is just insane. But that'll do it for this deck profile, guys. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know how you are finding a way to cope and still play Voiceless Voice. One of my favorite decks of all time, my domain format staple, and just absolutely love the deck. And I just wanted to contribute in my own way to the community. The Voiceless Voice group on Facebook has been a tremendous resource for me in particular, so I just wanted to give back and show you guys what I have been cooking with. So good luck to all you Voiceless players, and yeah, make sure you like the video, subscribe to TDE, and catch all our deck profiles, all our crazy funny content, and all the cool things we're going to be doing.